this, I'm going to come and read some of your comments. So hopefully most of the comments that are there are talking about what the weather is like in your area. Remember what we're doing right now. I'm about to record a video. So you're basically having the live show. So I'm about to record a video for the YouTube channel for those persons who might not be on the live right now to come on and actually watch that video. You know, yeah. And then after the video, you know, we continue the live, and I'm sure that after the video is up and running, then the 5 p.m. time frame would be upon us, and then we would have the updated you know,
what are the winds at? The
weather channel, I believe it's Weather Unfiltered videos to post at that time. So just one more hour until more Weather Channel footage. Okay, thank you very much, Sharon Duncan. I really appreciate it. Alright, so let's go. We're about to begin. We're going to do a microphone test first.
And then again, we should have the Hurricane Hunter aircraft inside
I'm using
Hurricane
the
Melissa. I would say
Bandicam
by
to
around
record
5
the
o'clock Central Time or 5 o'clock local time here in Jamaica. If not, maybe a little bit sooner. So
Bandicam.
We're getting pretty close to landfall here, or pretty close to landfall, and on top of that, pretty close to having Hurricane Hunters inside of the hurricane.
Microphone testing 1 2 mic. Alright, so let us see. Is it
Back
working?
to a live shot from the Sea Jamaica live cam in Kingston Harbor.
Microphone testing. Alright. Alright.
This is another live shot as
Give me a second. Let me go and take a quick bathroom break before.
This one.
Let's join the Weather Channel in the meantime, okay?
Downtown area. This is at the HWT Transport Center. We've had a decent amount of cars driving on the road, kind of a higher number than I expected today. It's not nearly as busy on the roadways now. You can see there's some people on the roads. Again, this is live.
With devastating consequences.
There's some puddling already in the roadways. Again, a lot of rain has already fallen here. We've already had a good 6 to 10 inches of rain across a large chunk of Jamaica.
Water's already life-threatening in this case, and it's too late to evacuate.
We still have people on the roadways. Again, the winds aren't that strong here yet. It's a little bit more inland. But once we go into tonight, the winds are really going to ramp up. Right along the coastline is where the worst of the conditions are, which is why I was showing you that Kingston Harbor cam.
6 feet of water above normally dry ground. That's above my head. Vehicles get carried away.
But work continues. You can actually see this bank here. It actually is boarded up. So there's plenty of places that have boarded up their windows, including this bank.
Even chemicals. They're all lurking in here.
That would prevent windows from shattering open.
Above my head. Neighborhoods are inundated completely.
Hey, Keith, the super chat. Disappointed to see you having a Diet Coke. Dr. Pepper's better. I like both of them. I'm a fan of both. I don't really drink Dr. Pepper anymore. Hey, Willie, for the $20 super chat. I'm stationed in Sicily currently. I have a few of my sailor families in Kingston and near Cuba. In the DR.
All right, great advice there
from Dr.
Forecast,
please. Yeah, I mean, again, the worst case scenario is basically going to be evolving here
very well
in Jamaica. We are talking about,
that's how you know this
again, catastrophic 30-plus inches of rain across a large chunk of Jamaica. A lot of that rain's already fallen, again, as I alluded to, but we're going to see another 20 to 30 inches across central Jamaica. I think if Melissa continues to go more west, as it kind of has been, we could see some sort of scenario where Kingston doesn't really get hit as hard. Storm surge would not be nearly as bad, that sort of thing. So let's just kind of hope that is the case.
And then
where storm surge isn't as bad there, and hopefully the
tomorrow evening.
There's the flooding isn't as bad, but right now we've already got a lot of rain that's fallen, and we're only going to see more of it tonight and early tomorrow.
There's the core of
if it continues to drag more to the west, Kingston would be lucked out at least with some of the most catastrophic impacts. We would still see catastrophic impacts, it just wouldn't be nearly as bad.
As we go into tomorrow afternoon, still very rough impacts here across most of the island of Jamaica.
This is the latest on the Hurricane Hunters. Again, they are currently flying over Cuba. This is as of 5 minutes ago. We are currently tracking their flight. You can actually see it right here on the flight tracker.
And then the heavy rain.
That is their flight right there. They went out of Lakeland, Florida, and they're currently west of Santa Clara. They're going to be flying right into the eye of the hurricane. We'll have new data here within the next hour, probably within the next 45 minutes even, of some of the winds, at least in some of the outer eye wall. And they'll be in the eye probably within the next hour or so.
And that will be anticipated across much
of the higher elevations. So that is the flight tracker. It is NOAA 42 if you want to track it on a flight tracker.
Essentially wipe out roads and block off roads with mudslides and landslides. As we go into tomorrow afternoon,
for the
landfall then late tomorrow night in places across southern Cuba.
Valley in
that will then work its way over.
As a reminder, if you are new to the channel as well, make sure to subscribe down below. Again, we do live streams like this
on Wednesday. So, Felicia, it's not just Jamaica. Cuba could also see their fair share.
In some cases, we do
very
hurricane
heavy rain,
coverage
but
live
also very strong winds.
even outside of the United States.
Thanks, Chris. All right, let's take a look at Charlotte right now.
We are currently tracking Hurricane Melissa. We're going to have new details within the next hour or two. Melissa
is a very
powerful Category 5 hurricane. This is the most powerful hurricane that we've had this year in the Atlantic Ocean at 175 mile per hour maximum sustained winds.
I'm gonna sweat and I want to get the video
up quick before. 3D view of Hurricane Melissa here over the last 50 minutes.
Alright, let's go.
And if we do a little loop here, this is over the last...
Let's go. Hello everyone. Well, let's see if it actually recorded. Everything is still good. Is it still good? Hello everyone. Okay, good. Good. Let's begin. So reload the latest infrared. Let us reload the latest infrared here. Let us reload the latest infrared here. Now by the time I get there, everything is working perfectly.
Moving very slowly.
Everything is the latest, right from the hurricane center. Reload.
Actually, no, sorry, this is not even 5 hours. This is 9 hours. This is a 9-hour loop right here. I'm gonna do a longer loop. I'm gonna do about a 27-hour loop here. Yeah, we just got new severe thunderstorm warning orange in Lake counties in Florida. If you're tuning in, 60-mile-per-hour winds in play.
Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this afternoon update video on a major hurricane Melissa. It is 4:12 p.m. Monday, October 27, 2025.
That is this loop.
Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather look that came out at 4:42 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we see that the only cyclone across the entire Atlantic Basin is still major Hurricane Melissa right here now to the south or slightly to the southwest of Jamaica. And if we take a look at the infrared, the latest infrared of Melissa right in here, we can see the clouds, the showers and the thunderstorms associated with her extending from the southern portion of southeastern Cuba into Haiti all the way down where she's inducing a trough-like pattern. So we see many clouds down here across southeastern Cuba, down also into portions of northwestern, or is that northeastern Colombia, okay? And we see a lot of convection even off to our south and east, so a lot of lightning within all of that. And we can see up here, look at what's happening here. Upper level wind shear blowing the clouds up to that direction. So I'm guessing the atmosphere is starting to feel the effects of the trough that is exiting the eastern US. So eventually that is what's going to be pulling, basically grabbing Melissa and basically grabbing her and pulling her across our island as she makes that northerly then northeasterly trek towards that direction. We've been talking about this. As you can see here, the close-up of Melissa right in about. Is it gonna load, or is it because everybody is looking at Melissa right now? Because trust me, it was working a while ago, so I don't know. It feels like breaking down now, but I don't even blame it. I mean, the infrared, everybody is loading this up right now for sure, so it only makes sense. But as stated, we see the crazy central dense overcast of the system Doesn't seem like it wants to load. No problem. I have another map right here. The system, look at how perfect it is, and with that eye that we can see all the way down into the sea. And trust me, if we had the close-up, we would be able to see all of the crazy amounts of lightning. Trust me, the amount of lightning that is around the system's center of circulation, it's just crazy. Let me see if I can do it here, because so many people are on this website right now, you know, looking at this. Even here we go. So the latest infrared right here. Is it gonna load? Same problem. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to see, the close-up. So as you can see, the perfect circular pattern to the central dense overcast, all of the blacks into the grays, into the what looks like pinks, if not purples, and then that eye right in there with a lot of lightning. I mean, the eye is supposed to be the calmest part of the hurricane, but I wouldn't feel calm in the eye because there's so much lightning, and I'm afraid of lightning. It's crazy, but I'm afraid of it. Like, it is even crazy because you know that lightning is dangerous. So it's a very bad situation right here, still pushing off towards the northwest as of the latest update from the hurricane. As a matter of fact, looking like at the end of it was moving a bit more west than northwest. So maybe it's doing a kind of westerly thing or westerly jog, or will it actually do a thing where it loops or wobbles around these hurricanes that are so formidable, are known for doing that. You can see the crazy thunderstorms off to the east. We know the nasty side of the storm is on the eastern side, so we can have some crazy thunderstorms over here, still affecting portions of Haiti, even if the system is making landfall on Jamaica. And if we take a look at the latest Euro ensembles, the spaghetti models have changed a bit, because if you remember even this morning's video, the ensembles were pushing it a bit farther west, then taking it northward, maybe threading the needle between Cayman Islands and Jamaica. But clearly you see that most of them are taking it across western parishes, and you know our western parishes already. You know, we're basically talking about those parishes that are within the county of Cornwall. I can't believe I didn't have these loaded already. So you're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawny, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, is where the system is going to be tracking over. You know, they're going to be tracking, well, the center of the system is going to be tracking over the southwestern parishes first, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth first, if that actually takes place, then Hanover, St. James, Trelawny second, if that actually takes place. And you know, some other parishes could definitely be affected, but that's just the Euro ensembles right in there. In terms of what the GFS ensembles are showing right here, not much change, even though we have to zoom way in to see. I don't know why they do the GFS ensemble like this, but clearly it's the same trend, northwest, then to the northeast across the island. And then you know what takes place after that. Landfall, damage. Hopefully the rebuilding thing is easy. Boy. So as of right now, you see the intensity model guidance still you know, maintains that Cat 5 hurricane status over the next 12 hours, but more than likely it's sometime by then, within the next 12 hours, that it should make landfall on Jamaica. And as soon as the landfall comes in, the intensity going to be decreasing. Cat 4 expected, then Cat 3, and then more than likely over the next day or so, when it has finished making its landfall back over into the sea between Jamaica and Cuba, maybe some possible strengthening again. We see some of the models taking it up in a way, and then across Cuba, or they say that it's going to be moving so quickly, so who knows, maybe it is Cat 4, Cat 3 somewhere in here. Don't know for sure, but clearly intensity is Cat 5 now. Cat 4 is expected next, then 3, then 2. So I'm sure that it has to do with some land interaction. And if we take a look here, the latest here from the Hurricane Center states that the system is moving at 3 miles per hour to the northwest. Okay, still moving to that direction, and it is now packing clocking maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour. That system that pack anywhere from, well, anywhere greater than, there's the greater than sign that we learned about in basic school and primary school. Anything that's greater than 157 miles per hour winds are classified as category 5 hurricanes, and it has 175 right now. That's crazy. That's going to be destroying houses, ripping roofs off, breaking windshields, twisting and moving cars. Trust me, it has the power to do so. As I said before, go outside right now before it comes. Take some pictures of your house. Take some pictures of your yard, your neighborhood. Take the before pictures. And then as soon as the system passes and we head into Wednesday, take the after pictures. And then you're going to put them side by side in a collage, because trust me, pictures like those go viral. Take a picture of your house before, especially if you have a zinc house top and you live in St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland or Hanover, St. James or Trelawney or Manchester. Because boy, it's going to be bad, and you're going to see the huge drastic difference that a Cat 5 hurricane makes. The same way how your neighborhood or your yard looks right now with the heap of trees, light posts, buildings, houses, whatever, it is not going to look the same because of this storm, guys. Category 5, it's crazy. And if we take a look at the past of this system, westward track, then northwest, then west, then northwest, then east, southeast, then northwest, then west, southwest, then west. And as you can see here, the tropical storm force winds extend out to a great deal. The entire island of Jamaica is experiencing on and off tropical storm force winds, especially within the vicinity of showers. For sure, so when we experience the showers, you know, that's usually when we get the crazy winds. Sometimes it calms down now and there's no rain. Then the next hour another rain band comes with some strong winds. And that kind of weather is just going to be intensifying the more the system pushes north into us. Okay? And we see how far the hurricane force winds in the browns extend. So we had the tropical storm force winds in the gold. The hurricane force winds just extend in and around the center. So it's a small area around the eye in general. This is why those parishes out west will be getting a brunt of the system. And if we track if we look at the interactive map here from the Hurricane Center, basically giving us a zoomed in footage of what we just mentioned, the path that it took, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4, now Cat 5. The hurricane force winds around it in the greenish yellowish, and the tropical storm force winds around it in what looks like the bluish greenish colors. I think that is what they call turquoise. But as you can see, it is now down to 906 millibars, moving to the northwest at 175 with 212 mile per hour wind gusts. That is crazy. 906 millibars, by the way. You know that systems that pack anywhere less than, so this is the less than sign, less than 920 would basically, you know, be categorized as category 5 hurricanes for real. And as you can see, the system is expected to push northward, where it should have 165, so it's decreasing in intensity just a bit as it is pushing to the north towards us, and then making landfall more than likely as a category 5. We see that by the time it gets here into northern St. Elizabeth, it is back down to a 145 mile per hour hurricane. You know that is a category 4. Anywhere from 130 to 156 is category 4 for sure. And then it makes it off towards the northeast quickly, because look at the gap between this is 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Tuesday. Okay, so that's 1 p.m. Jamaica time on Tuesday. Is going to be already making landfall, but I should be sitting on top of northern St. Elizabeth at that point. And then, if that is 1 p.m. on Tuesday, October 28th, and this
whenever we get
these
brighter greens and oranges, that basically means there's more lightning happening at a given time. And we've been peaking around a lot more lightning here over the last few minutes.
And every step after, from getting your domain to creating your website, email,
and also another thing I want to point out about this dry eye thing, if we go over to here, when you have a dry eye, all right,
you just need a starting point.
GoDaddy very dry eye. What it basically means is that we have a lot of sinking air. All right, so when you think about a hurricane, obviously the eye is where it's calm and it's dry. That's typically what it is.
Then, as you can see, especially as the system pushes or north, the crazy waves, anything from the pinks into the purples into the burgundies, the oranges represents anywhere
basically means
from 2 all the way up to the 9-meter wave height range. You're talking about 7 feet
so when we have a dry
to
eye
13 feet. That's way high. Okay, so 7 feet. Think about your own body. How tall are you? Most of us are 5 foot something inches. Okay, are 6 feet tall. So if it's going up to 7 feet, up to 13 feet high in some cases, especially the people who are by the coast. And I want you to keep in mind that while the system is pushing in like this side of the system is going to be getting in on a southerly flow. So it's just going to be pushing even more water towards the coast into southern parishes in Jamaica. So anybody who is by the coast, you're going to be getting in on those strong winds, and the storm surge might bring the water up into your house or on the road near your house. If you're by the beach, you know the drill. That is what is coming for you. And the tropical storm force winds still extend out to a great deal. Still having Jamaica shaded in the purples. That represents a 90% chance of tropical storm force winds affecting us. It's already been affecting us. There's a lot more of that to come as we head into tonight and tomorrow. And the winds also show the same thing. First of all, winds coming in from the east-southeast. As we head throughout the night and the system pushes towards the north, more of a southeasterly flow on the eastern side, more of that moisture pushing in tonight into tomorrow, then making that landfall, and then still getting that southerly flow. But as you can see, this side right here, the south side of the eye, should start getting in on that westerly flow. So they're going to get an easterly flow first, and then a westerly flow from the other direction after. That is usually what takes place when it comes to these hurricanes. And then way out of here, affecting southeastern Cuba by around 4 a.m. on Wednesday. But we're still going to be getting in a westerly, if not a... Looks like, well, it's a westerly flow for sure. Northwesterly on the west side, southwesterly on the east side. For sure. You know, we're talking about anywhere from tropical storm force winds in the 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour, all the way up to category 1 wind gusts, if not category 2 wind gusts, if not category 3 wind gusts, or category 4 wind gusts. You know, we're definitely going to be getting on the category 4, category 5 winds when the system is making landfall into those western parishes especially. And if we take a look at the latest Euro model, so we're looking at the 12Z run of the Euro model that came out today. So we're just going to be going out to the next 60 hours at least. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp here, keep your eyes focused on Jamaica here. So we're just going out to the next 60 hours. Time is wrapping up for this system. So look at this system lifting up and then starts to make that turn, making landfall in western Jamaica especially, and then out of here. See there? Even out of here before the 60-hour time frame. Right here affecting the southeastern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, already affected Cuba by the 60-hour time frame. The GFS 12Z run is about, by the way, the 18Z run of the GFS is about to begin at 4:30. So we're going to be talking about that in our live stream. If you're watching this video right now, we're still live streaming if you don't know. So come over to the channel, click on the live stream. So yes, pushing northward. This is by 12Z on Tuesday, so that's 7 a.m. And then we see it has already made landfall by that time, pushing northeastward and then pushing through eastern Cuba or southeastern Cuba. Then, as you can see here, by the end of the 60 hours across southeastern Cuba right there. So both the Euro and the GFS are definitely in agreement. They're in consensus with regards to what is going to be taking place, and as such, the rainfall totals for the next 3 days from the Hurricane Center still shows a lot of rainfall expected for us, especially the era that's at the point of landfall. Look at Jamaica and the rainfall totals that's expected. Still expecting the oranges across the entire island. That's 8 to 12 inches of rainfall. That's 200 to 300 millimeters of rainfall. The reds across the great deal of the island. That's 12 to 16 inches, that's 300 to 400 millimeters of rainfall. The dark reds across what looks like St. James, St. Elizabeth, section of St. Anne into Manchester, 16 to 20 inches at 400 to 500 millimeters of rainfall. And the pinks extending from St. Anne into Manchester and St. Elizabeth, that's 20 inches to 30 inches, that's 500 to 750 millimeters of rainfall. Okay, so yeah, that's some crazy rainfall totals. And let me remind you that in terms of the flooding that took place in Kingston on September 19th, that was only 3 inches of rainfall, 75 millimeters of rainfall that flooded Kingston. And we're expecting all of this within the next 24 to 48 hours, where there's going to be some amount of flooding, and not to mention the crazy wind that is going to be moving through. And as such, the latest Euro and GFS Supercom Petermal runs that are going all the way up until Thursday, October 30, are showing that we have the purples into the pinks, into the peaches, into the blues, from through all the way up to 25 inches of rainfall expected across the entire island. And we see the close-up right here, both the Euro and the, let me load the GFS. So both the Euro and the GFS right here, even although the GFS is a bit more robust than the Euro, especially the rainfall totals out west now, with the whites and the greys up to 500 millimeters of rainfall. The Euro a bit more reserved, but still a lot of rainfall with the purples and the whites and the greys here and there. So a lot of flood rainfall to come. Alright, so let's see what's happening now. The latest visible shows the entire island blanketed with the clouds of Melissa. The infrared right here shows, look at all of the reds into the blacks. One would think that everybody is getting rainfall by the looks of this, but you can have clouds like this over our country and we're not necessarily getting rainfall every single where. Maybe some places the rainfall has cooled down, and then some other places the rainfall is starting up as we speak. Like with me, I can hear the rainfall starting up hard now with some strong winds in my part of St. Thomas right here, right now. So I'm guessing I'm getting in on some of these rain bands pushing in from the south. And I can see the rain bands even better because I have the Doppler radar images loaded up. But the Jamaican Doppler radar imagery, here it is, service unavailable, and I don't blame it. Not only because the winds are starting to pick up across Cooper, still in St. Andrew, but we have a lot of people who are on the website right now. So even people who aren't being affected by the hurricane, people in the United States are watching out the Doppler radar. Even the Hurricane Center uses the Doppler radar to make its forecast. So we're glad that we also have the Cuban Doppler radar right here to use. So let's reload this, that we have the very latest to look at. Because there it goes, no Jamaican Doppler radar to look at. So the latest Cuban Doppler radar goes all the way up to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 4:30 p.m. Jamaica time. So this latest Doppler radar image just came out 2 minutes ago, considering that it is 4:32 p.m. right now. And as you can see, we can definitely make out the eye of Melissa right in here, trying to get herself organized and push northward. She's right down in here. But as you can clearly see, we have that moisture pushing in from south or southeast to northwest. So almost all the parishes across Jamaica are getting some, if it's not light to moderate in the greens, that's some heavy rainfall in some of these yellow spots here. So I'm getting some moderate to heavy rainfall right now in my part of St. Thomas, some windy conditions. I see some rainfall in Portland, St. Mary into Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Andrew, Lawn, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, whenever into St. James, getting some amount of rainfall as we speak. And the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar shows the same thing. The entire island shaded in the blues and the greens, represent some light to moderate, even some slightly heavy rainfall. And the Cayman radar on the western end shows the light to moderate rainfall affecting western Jamaica too. And even see some rain bands pushing in from the east southeast or from the east northeast towards the Cayman Islands as we speak. And even the live cameras here, the halfway tree camera, making out some rainfall right now, some light rainfall. One vehicle right here, windshield wiper definitely on. We can also see the Clarendon, well, this was Clarendon earlier, they were getting some decent rainfall pushing through. Let's look at the live now. Okay, still getting in on some rainfall. Looks like some light to moderate rainfall. We see the umbrellas definitely out.
It'll be in the eye
regarding the live camera. Well, this was earlier in Little London, but if we look at the live right now, definitely chilling right now, even though the place is soaking wet. Some chickens right here running about. Nothing we have bad weather now, but that could definitely change. And then finally the downtown Kingston camera now, not much of anything serious, but they're getting on some rainfall as we speak. Some, let's say, moderate rainfall, enough for there to be some water running on the road. I see one individual right here in front of Tasty is walking by. Alright, so what is the weather like in your area? Let me check the live to see if anybody remember that they're supposed to let me know what's taking place in your area right now. What's going on? Because as much as we are live streaming now, we're also recording the video. Okay, so welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please ensure that you subscribe. Richard Edwards stating Melissa they are same way. So nobody is telling me what the weather is like in their area right now. What's going on?
Wait, did I?
What is the weather like in your area right now?
Oh, that's why I use Riley.
Nobody seems like everybody forgot to tell me. Okay, Ricardo, heavy rains now in Kingston Eastern. Thank you very much. We have a Lucky Me. Comments are going so fast. Hold on. We have Lucky Me sitting in rain calm down in Portmore tomorrow. A lot of rain in Portmore. Wait, I'm gonna make up with a mind. Because Lucky Me stating rain calm down in Portmore. Tomorrow stating a lot of rain in Portmore. So which is it? Are you guys at the opposite sides of Portmore right now? We have Uguita stating raining here in Kingston. Black Beauty stating Spanish Town rain. What else? Jermaine Jackson stating no rain, just cool. What parish is that? Let me know. Okay. Light rain in St. Mary states Nikki Tolo. Alright, so let us continue. Thank you for the updates, okay? Right, so those persons who were just mentioned, you'll be mentioned in the video that we're recording right now. Remember, it's a recording, you know. So you're basically on the live right now, you know, viewing the live taping. Because this is what is going to be uploaded shortly before we actually get the updates from the Weather Channel at 5. Alright, so regarding what's expected, I think this has passed the 20 minutes time by now. Let me see the recording. 24 minutes so far, so definitely past the 20 minutes, but we're wrapping up. As you can see, we're just going to be looking at what the rainfall forecast maps are showing for the next 24 to 48 hours at least. So we can see the system right down here with all of the crazy rainfall. This is valid for 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 6 p.m. Jamaica time, and we can clearly see the moisture that should still be pushing into southern parishes. We see the blues, we see the greens, some moderate to heavy rainfall with the strong winds affecting especially the southern parishes here on the Euro. The GFS a bit more robust with the 6 p.m. rainfall. Greens, yellows, oranges, pinks, reds. I think it's overdoing it a bit. Either way, you know, when we're talking about eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Central parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. Or western parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. While when we're talking about our southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. While in northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. So let's continue to go out in time. So we're talking about 3 hours later now, so 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 p.m. Jamaica time. You can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are showing the rainfall, especially not only the blues that we know represents what the millimeters, 0.1 of a millimeter up to 4 millimeters, but some dark blues into the greens, into the yellows, into the oranges across the southern and eastern parishes still. GFS still showing crazy rainfall in the southwest, pushing northward. Euro model still has the system out to sea by 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 12 midnight tonight, so 12 a.m. The Euro still has the system down here. The GFS has the system closer to the coast, so the GFS is stating that the system should have made the turn by then and started to push towards the island, bring crazy rainfall to central and western Jamaica. Then we're moving on to 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 3 a.m. Jamaica time on the Euro. Euro still has the system to the southwest of us, but we see crazy rainfall pushing into the south coast, greens, yellows, pinks. That's a lot of rainfall for 3 a.m. if this is true. GFS still has the system to the southwest of us. Crazy rainfall across the entire island. I mean, look at these. Greens, yellows, oranges, reds, purples. Trust me, all the way up until landfall, we're just going to be getting nailed with strong winds and heavy rainfall. So this is about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is 6 a.m. Am I looking at the right map? Hold on there. Yeah, so we just looked at 3 a.m. now. It's time for 6 a.m. now, so we're heading out 3 hours, every 3 hours. Still having the system to the southwest of us according to the Euro. Still having a lot of moisture pushing into the south coast, so you can find your parish and look to see what your shaded in at that time. GFS coming closer with the system at 6 a.m. Let's look now at the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time frame. It's actually 9 a.m. Still have the system right here on the Euro, just off the coast of St. Elizabeth, starting to close in now. Moisture right here pushing in from the south to the north across the south coast into the eastern end. GFS about to make landfall at around 10 a.m. if not 9 a.m. Look at the purples that represents the eye wall pushing into Westmoreland, if not Hanover, St. James already lashed St. Elizabeth at that time.
It was a lot more rough.
Let's look at what the latest Euro is showing. So, the Euro starting to make landfall with the purples into the reds right here. That's about midday on Tuesday, according to the Euro. GFS has already made landfall. It is right here. The eye is right at the border of St. James and Trelawney. We'll see. We know these models aren't 100% accurate, but they do paint quite the picture of what is to come, and they're clearly in agreement that it should be taking it up into this area from southwest to north across St. Elizabeth, eastern Westmoreland to St. James and Trelawney. So it's a bad situation for the breadbasket parish in general. Clearly a lot of rainfall for the 3 p.m. time frame on the Euro GFS. Starting to let up a bit across the southern coastal areas, but we know we can still get some crazy feeder bands coming through. Europe by 6 p.m. on Tuesday still has a lot of rainfall, even although the system should be to the north of us by that time. Still has a lot of rainfall pushing through. GFS has the system to the north of us, still having some blues representing rainfall across the island. 10 p.m., which is 9 p.m. Jamaica time, system north of us, rainfall across section of the island. Still those outer bands, GFS something similar but a bit further away from where the Euro has it. We see the blues across the entire island that represents rainfall. And then finally we're talking about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, which is actually, midnight on Wednesday morning. And we still have some leftover showers across the island while the system is getting ready to make landfall in southeastern Cuba on the Euro. GFS, what does the GFS show? It doesn't seem like it has it ready, or maybe it didn't load. I wonder what took place. Okay, here it goes, and reload fixed it, getting ready to make landfall in southeastern Cuba, but clearly we still have some moisture to endure. We see the blues here across sections of the island. And the precipitation forecast maps here, in agreement that some crazy rainfall totals are still expected. I mean, look at these rainfall totals, and let me remind you that the rainfall that caused the flooding in Kingston on September 19, that crazy rainfall where there was a lot of footage in Crossroads and Uptown and so on, that was just 3 inches of rainfall, 75 millimeters of rainfall. Look at the amount of rainfall that's expected from now up until 3Z Wednesday, which is actually 10 p.m. Tuesday. So all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. Tuesday. Look at the purples into the peaches, into the whites, into the blues. That represents what we see here on the can red. That's anywhere from 3 all the way up to maybe 15 inches of rainfall. We even see the numbers here, 11 or 12 inches of rainfall in Manchester when it's rounded off, 7.8 in St. James, 7.2 in Trelawney, 5.4 in Western St. Anne, 4.5 in Northeastern St. Anne, 5.5 in Portland, 8.7 in St. Thomas, 8.99 in Kingston. And then the GFS is even more so robust, especially across the southwestern end where the system should be making landfall. 17.66 in Hanover, what looks like is the 16.91 in St. Elizabeth, 15.43 in Manchester, 16.32 in St. James, 11.42 in Trelawney, 9.43 in St. Anne, 8.25 in Northeastern St. Anne, 6.94 in St. Mary, 6.77 in Portland, 6.75 in St. Thomas, 8 inches of rainfall in Kingston, 12.2 in Clarendon. Trust me, all of these live cameras are going to be down for sure. So all of these people who are watching out the live cameras now, just enjoy it while it lasts. The strong winds are going to come, the light is going to go away, the internet is going to go away, the place is going to flood. Hopefully people have some footage before all of this happens that we can see it after everything is said and done. Alright, so that is it for now. Thank you all for watching. Alright, so I just made a video.